Hi everyone, hello and welcome to the very first video in our series of making 360 VR CGI animations. My name is Saad Jimani. I'll be your instructor throughout the series. And before we get into it, a bit of my own introduction. I'm based in Karachi, Pakistan, but I've worked with clients all over the world. I've spent 8 years in technology industry, and out of these 8 years, I've spent about 5 years in the domain of augmented reality, virtual reality, and video games. I've delivered 100 plus projects to clients from more than 15 countries. And since you're probably watching this video in DOVR, I'm also a DOVR content creator myself. And the reason why I designed this course is because one of the constraints to the growth of virtual reality industry is that there's a severe shortage of content in this industry, and obviously I cannot fulfill all of this need alone. There will need other content creators will need to step in and play a role so that the size of pie gets bigger, because more content there is in VR, more people will join this medium, and ultimately it's going to benefit all of us who are affiliated with this industry. And the reason why I'm focusing on the CGI part of it, it's because most of the 360 VR content that we are seeing right now, it's the filmed content. It's the one that is videographed from different cameras. The problem is that when you're dependent on specialized hardware, that kind of presents a bottleneck. And uh, by helping spread the CGI 360 VR skills, I'm trying to basically overcome that physical hardware bottleneck, because there are a billion gaming PCs around the world compared to only few million cameras. So I'd much rather have some portion of that 1 billion gaming PCs being utilized in developing 360 VR footages, instead of depending on just a few million cameras that are producing that stuff. Why you should take it. So this is like why so far I've described why I designed this course. Why you should take it: because you're an early comer to this industry. I mean, you're in the top, maybe first 1% of people to have to be trying virtual reality. There's going to be about exponential growth in this industry in about in for the next 10 years. And the example I like to give is of YouTube. Imagine if you started focusing on content creation in 2007, because those who did, they're basically sort of celebrities and superstars right now. People who've been creating YouTube content for about 10 years. They have audiences in millions by now. You have that sort of edge right now. You can start today. Uh, when the VR industry is still small, when where there's still a chance to grow, right? So that's why you should be taking this course. And considering the concepts that would be included here, we'd be looking at 3D space fundamentals, what a 3D scene is basically made up of. We'd be looking at models, how we can design our own models or how we can acquire models. We would be looking at environment design, how we can place different models to make a full 360 VR environment. We're going to be looking at animations, special effects, lighting, so all the usual things, that all the essentials that are required to make a 360 video VR video animation. And the tools we would be using are Unity, Unreal Engine, and Blender. If you're not aware, Unity is one of the most widely used video game development tools, but we are going to be using it mainly to develop 360 VR films or 360 VR animated footages. Blender is a 3D modeling tool, and Unreal Engine is a game engine similar to Unity, but it's generally considered more high end, especially in terms of graphics. So we'll be looking at all of these, but most of the work will be done in Unity. Uh, and yeah, by the way, we will be putting together our scenes in VSDC, which is a video editing software. So you don't need to know them. we will start all of these from basics. Right now I'm just sort of introducing it. So this is basically an introduction to myself, to this course, and with all of that said, let's start with our first 360 VR animation. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is go to unity.com and download this Unity tool, this game engine. So it's going to say download Unity. Okay, it's going to download the Unity hub. So okay, so there are two steps here. I already have Unity hub, so I'll show you what it looks like and how do you go from there. So once you're downloaded Unity hub, this is sort of what the screen will look like. Maybe a newer version would look slightly different, but more or less these would be the options. So this is projects. Now I've already been working on this, so I have a lot of projects listed. You are not going to see these projects. You're probably going to see an empty space here, and you'll have to go from projects to installs, and from here you'll have to install the editor. And I recommend downloading one of these LTS versions, especially the version that it says recommended. Just click install and continue, and it's going to basically start installing it. Now I already have a version, not specifically this version, but I do have a version that's quite close to it, so I'll just go ahead and fire it up. And I'll go new project, select 3D, and 360 video. Let's create it. It's going to take some time, and so when you open Unity for the first time, this is kind of what you're gonna see. And on the left hand side is what we call the hierarchy panel. It's basically a list of every object that currently exists in your scene. Right now you have a main camera and a directional light. Now right click on any empty space here, and you're gonna see options to add new objects here. Go to 3D object and add a cube. Once you've added a cube and clicked on it, you can see these three arrows. So whichever direction you want to move your cube in, you will click on that particular arrow and you can move it along that particular direction. So similarly, on the top right side you have options to rotate, to scale. If you want to rotate it, you can obviously similarly select that particular curve and rotate an object along those lines. You can scale it in any direction, just like that. So this gives you a basic introduction of a Unity scene. I'm basically trying to keep every video under 10 minutes, so so that it's easier to follow along and sort of, you know, convenient in a bite-sized lesson sort of way. That's my model of teaching. So see you in the next video, I guess. This is supposed to be the basic introduction of Unity. In the next one, we are going to set up a scene properly and make a 360 VR render out of it, a picture or a video. So see you all in the next video. Thank you.